from my perspective, and this is my perspective alone, Papua New Guinea is very deeply patriarchal. Even in matrilineal societies in Papua New Guinea, the women may own the land, but when it comes to making decisions on the land, it's usually the man that comes in. The gender roles that we have in this country have been deeply defined for over thousands of years. So men usually are the protector, the one that provides the security, the ones that provide, and the women keep basically all the other roles, even the roles of making social connections, and marriages are also a form of social connections and women play a very vital role in that. Now fast forward, I say that Papua New Guineans actually jump straight from the Stone Age into the digital age. There's a lot of things in between that we bypassed. There's a lot of etiquette that you would say, the Western etiquette of how to fit into this so-called modern society that we bypassed. You're seeing a very ancient tribal people marching right into the 21st century. Now they're taught to act in a certain way, to speak in a certain way. A lot of things that they've been taught to do to fit in does not resonate or gel well with the ancient ways. So you see a lot of things that they're not rubbing in well, and there's a lot of friction involved. One of those things are seeing the roles of women change in a deeply patriarchal society where women are supposed to be subservient, women are supposed to be seen but not heard, women that are supposed to be not leading in front but at the back. But now that you see with education, with the modern imposition of Western ideas that actually gives the platform for a woman to be heard, for a woman to lead, now that clashes so much with the Western, the traditional cultures. And that's where we're finding a lot of pushback and confrontation. It's not bad, it's not good either, but how do we manage that? Because unless we manage this in such a way that we do not lose ourselves, but at the same time, we do not miss out on fitting in. And it's a tricky place to be in because you want win on both sides. You want people to retain who they are culturally because that's their identity. But at the same time, on the other end, you want them to fit in and not impose on each other's liberties, which culture seems to because culture has such a defined role, it does that unintentionally in some areas. So my problem a lot when I see working in the space of sorcery accusation related violence as well as gender-based violence is that the perpetrators are usually the male. Not to say that 100% of the time it's the male, but usually the male. But then there's also the part where it's the people that are very, very intimate or connected or related to the women. It's not someone it's not random. From sorcery accusation related violence, it's the family that usually is the ones that the perpetrators. And in gender-based violence, it's the intimate partner, whether the husband or partner or boyfriend or someone that knows the woman is the one that perpetrates the violence. So you can see that it is it's not coming from someone outside. It's coming from the ones that who actually claim to love these women or the victims. To change the narrative is not to focus on the victims, because that's what we've been doing all this time, and we haven't seen much change. To change the narrative is actually to educate the perpetrator, not empower the victim, because even though a victim can be empowered, the perpetrator doesn't change, which means the problem is still there. He's the problem. If it's a he or if it's a she, then she is still the problem. What we need to do is change our programs in such a way that we start working with the perpetrator. And if we can do that, then you stop it, because he won't be preying on the next victim. And that's where Tribal Foundation works in that space of gender appreciation.